This time last year, having £20,000 invested felt a million miles away. Starting a second YouTube channel also felt a million miles away. I wanted to start this channel almost from the day that I started investing at the beginning of 2025. I remember opening my stocks and shares ISA and thinking this journey could make a good YouTube channel. And that wasn't because I knew loads about investing, because I don't. It's actually because of that I thought it would do better, because I don't. I'm not trying to be a guru. I thought that documenting the journey might be interesting to people, as that kind of content was really interesting to me, and I was certainly watching a lot of it as I was embarking on my investment journey. I then spent an entire year investing but not making any videos about it. The idea was there, the motivation was there, but I just kept finding reasons to not start. I don't know enough. Oh, my portfolio isn't big enough. Nobody will watch. Nobody will care even if they do watch. Maybe I'll do it next month when I hit X number, or this happens in my life so I've got this amount of free time or something. Maybe I'll start it when I've got £10,000 invested. Maybe I'll start once I've got more knowledge. There was definitely a bit of me being just scared about talking about money on the internet, especially my own actual real money. But before you know it, a whole year has gone by, and that's sort of life in general, isn't it? So I've been thinking a lot about that recently, because there's so many things in life that feel either impossible or unrealistic or just too far away until you've actually done them. And then when you've done them, they feel completely normal. Finishing an Ironman felt impossible, but I have managed to get myself around a couple in the last few years. Don't fall off your chair being too surprised about that. Buying my first house with Mrs. Compounding Project felt impossible. Then moving house across the country felt the same. All these things were intimidating. Starting from £0 invested and going to having over £20,000 invested felt impossible. As I said, starting this second YouTube channel felt impossible for a long period of time. Owning a buy-to-let property, again, felt impossible. All these things that I've done that felt impossible become normal. I'm sure you've got some of those stories in your life as well. And even though every single one of those things might have and did become normal, none of them happened like by accident. None of them were easy. But now that they have, they feel normal and they feel easier. And I think that's one of the most powerful lessons I've learned over the last decade or so. Lots of things feel impossible until you've done them. And you're going to have to bear with me, but that is actually why I'm more excited about this channel today than I was a couple of months ago, despite the fact that the numbers are looking a whole lot worse, to be honest. I'm pretty sure that I've reached the hardest part of building anything. That boring bit in the middle, the part where you've had that initial excitement, but it's just started to fade, the part where progress has slowed down a little bit, maybe even stopped. And this bit, this is where most people stop. So let's start with the numbers and I'll tell you a bit more about that. So May was not my biggest month on the channel. The channel generated just over 30,000 views and 1,700 watch time, gained 147 subscribers and earned around £83 of YouTube ad revenue. And compared to the previous couple of months, that is a noticeable drop. Views are down, watch time is down, revenue is down. This channel will probably lose somewhere between £400 and £500 this month once editing costs are paid for. Now, if I only looked at those numbers, then I probably should feel disappointed, borderline embarrassed to talk about on a finance YouTube channel. But I don't, I'm not, because I've never viewed this channel through a 1 month lens. The whole reason why this YouTube channel is called The Compounding Project is because I believe that most worthwhile things are built over years, not weeks and months. And I've seen that play out in many areas of my life now. So it's basically meant that I trust the process much more than I trust any one individual month. So take investing, for example. This time last year, £20,000 invested felt like a huge milestone. I remember making videos when the portfolio was around £13,000 or £14,000. And that was only a few months ago. And at the time, that felt very meaningful. I was excited about every contribution, every dividend, every £1,000 milestone. And I still am from time to time, but that £20,000 that felt a long way away, well, now the portfolio sat at about £22,000. And yes, that feels good, but it doesn't feel as special as it did a couple of months ago. Maybe that is the problem with numbers though, is that there's always a bigger one, isn't there, right? Because all achieving that milestone has done is started me thinking about £50,000, £100,000, silly numbers like that. I think that's the one thing about progress. You spend ages chasing something and then you get there and very quickly it just becomes your new normal. And most people only only see the milestone. They don't see the hundreds of small, tiny decisions and habits beforehand. So the months of investing when the portfolio barely moved, the sacrifices in life to be able to do that, the consistency and relentlessness of depositing that money every single month ahead of buying flash stuff. Those boring bits, but those boring bits are where everything actually gets built. The same happens in triathlon, my hobby. The first time that somebody explained to me what an Ironman triathlon was, it sounded completely ridiculous. Swim 2.4 miles, cycle 112 miles, and then run a marathon all in one day. I remember thinking, like, who actually does that? Surely you've got to be an elite athlete to do that. It felt completely impossible. And if you'd shown me a photo of myself crossing the Ironman finish line back then, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But here's the thing, nobody starts by doing an Ironman. You start by swimming a few lengths in your local pool with Doris, who's doing a bit of breaststroke next to you. You might start by going for a short walk or run. I actually started by doing a couch to 5k run group. Then I did a park run. Then I joined my local triathlon club, entered some small local races, and so on. You start small and then you just keep showing up. That's the important thing though, that you actually start. And then so long as you do that, that thing that originally felt impossible becomes something that you've done multiple times. The finish line wasn't built on race day, it was built during all the boring days beforehand, all those cold dark mornings where you're getting out the door, or late nights at the pool, all those sorts of things. And the same sort of thing happens with career goals as well, I guess. So there's definitely been jobs that I've looked at and I thought, people like me don't get jobs like that, or I'm not skilled or experienced enough to do that sort of thing. Maybe you've had that feeling yourself. You see an advert for a job, or you see a job description, or you see a salary and you think, oh, that'd be great, but I couldn't get that. Like, you assume it's for somebody else, for somebody smarter or somebody more qualified or somebody with more experience. But eventually though, you might think about it in more detail and you might apply, get an interview, maybe you get offered the role eventually, and then all of a sudden you're doing a job that once felt completely out of reach. The job didn't change at all, it was exactly the same. You changed, you grew into it. And the same thing happened when Mrs. Compounding Project and I bought our first house. So you don't think you can do it until you do it. Moving house, oh, it's too intimidating, we're not going to do it. Then you do it. And I guess my most recent one is this YouTube channel. I didn't really think I'd be able to find the time or effort or want to create and keep regularly posting, but now here I am. One thing that did really stand out to me though in the month of May on my YouTube analytics was the most viewed video, because the most viewed video during May wasn't actually uploaded in May. It was actually uploaded back in, I think it was either the end of March or early April. So not really recently at all. And it was a buy-to-let property related video, one where I talked about trying and failing to sell it. And that video generated almost 13,000 views during May. So nearly half of my total views on the channel, weeks after I'd uploaded it. And that's actually one of my favorite statistics from the entire month, because that's compounding. That's exactly what I'm trying to build. I don't want a channel that's dependent on whatever video I uploaded yesterday. I want a library of content. I want useful videos that continue helping people, videos that continue being discovered, videos that keep ticking those numbers up in the background weeks and months after they're posted. And to me, that feels very similar to how investing works. So every contribution or video feels small, every individual investment feels insignificant on its own, but eventually enough pieces stack together that something meaningful starts to happen. So if I had 100 videos like that buy-to-let video in the background doing 13,000 views a month, I'd be delighted. But you don't get to 100 videos doing that by thinking about 100 videos. You get to 100 videos doing that by making the next one, and then making the next one, and making the next one relentlessly. And that's exactly why my goal has not changed. It's still my goal to post 3 videos per week, every week. That might fluctuate with life, but that is my goal. And of course, I'm going to be trying to be getting better and better and telling a better story and sharing more with you as I go along with that journey. But that is my core to keep posting. And one of the coolest moments this month on this channel has had absolutely nothing to do with views or numbers. I got a comment on my YouTube update last month from Damien Talks Money and Toby Newbert. And if you've spent any time in UK personal finance YouTube world, you'll know exactly who they are, like celebrities in the space, you know, the real big like leaders in the space. And for me, that was genuinely so cool. They're 2 of the creators who've helped inspire me the most to start this channel. Their angle of personal finance and, you know, really simple methods and nothing like glitzy and glammy that's a scam or anything like that, I really take a lot from it, and honestly, it blew me away. I think these people seem miles away. I mean, when you're watching their videos from a distance, like you watch their stuff, you see their success, and you just assume that, or I do, that they're operating on some completely different level. Then I think eventually you realise, or I might have realised, that a big part of their success is that they started earlier. Sure, they're brilliant at what they do, but they started, they stayed consistent, and they just relentlessly kept showing up and still keep relentlessly showing up. And what I have really enjoyed about the finance community is just how welcoming it feels. It was really intimidating coming into it initially, but that's completely changed my mind about that now. Nobody seems particularly interested, creator-wise, in like protecting territory. Most people seem genuinely interested in helping others improve their financial future, and I love that. That's so cool to have as like a core purpose. I genuinely believe that a rising tide raises all ships. Like if more people invest, that's a good thing. If more people learn about money, that's also a good thing. If more people take ownership of their future, then obviously that is a good thing, and it's something that I want to contribute to as well. And I did a fair bit of this before, but since receiving those comments, I've made a conscious effort to spend more time watching other creators' videos, leaving comments, getting involved, because the feeling of when somebody did that for me blew me away. I also received a £10 donation in the comment section on a video this month, and now financially £10 isn't changing most people's lives, though it is over 10% of this month's revenue on this channel, so it does genuinely make a difference, and thank you very much for that. But emotionally it means a lot more. Like somebody watched a video and decided that it was valuable enough to put their hand in their pocket and financially support it. That absolutely blew my mind. I was so grateful for it. A few months ago this channel didn't even exist, it wasn't even a thing. And now somebody I've never met has voluntarily supported it because they got value from the content. That's pretty cool. And in a similar way, some of the comments that I've had on recent videos are brilliant. A few people have said that this channel or the videos they've seen have encouraged them to either open an ISA or start investing or to start thinking about their finances more seriously. And honestly, that's probably my favourite thing about this whole project. I'm not trying to become a finance guru, there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just not trying to tell people exactly what they should do. I'm just documenting my own journey, the decisions that I'm making along the way, the no doubt mistakes that I'm making along the way as well, the things that I'm learning as a result of those mistakes, hopefully. And if somebody benefits from that, that's fantastic. Now let's talk about the money then, because viewed purely as an investment, this channel still looks pretty terrible. £83-ish in revenue, several £100s of editing costs, negative cash flow. If this was a stock, I think most people would not be touching it with a barge pole. But that's because they'd be valuing it based on where it is today, now not where it might be in 1, 3, 5, 10 years time. And that's exactly how I'm thinking about this channel. I'm not investing in what it is or what its value is today, I'm investing in what it could become. Now, maybe there's a good chance I'll be completely wrong. That's always possible, of course. But I think I've seen enough examples in my own life to know that anything worthwhile usually looks unimpressive in the beginning and for a while. So that first £1,000 I reached in my stocks and shares ISA didn't feel that impressive, all things considered. The first training session for my Ironman was certainly not impressive. It was pretty bad to watch. First video isn't impressive. 1 subscriber isn't impressive. But those things only look unimpressive when you ignore where they lead to. And so where does that leave us? Well, honestly, exactly where we were. The plan has not changed. 3 videos every week. Keep learning, keep improving, keep showing up. I've moved from the garage to the dining room. Mrs. Compounding Project, not stoked about that, but doing what we can to have a more aesthetic background. I think what I have learned over the years is that most people, myself included, dramatically overestimate what can happen in 6 months. Sure, I had dreams about this channel taking off in 6 months, but I also think most people dramatically underestimate what can happen in 5 years if you keep at it, and I'm guilty of that too. I thought that £20,000 invested was miles away in my stocks and shares ISA. I thought that a second channel was miles away. I put it off for a year. I definitely thought after that first couple of runs that an Ironman was a million miles away. Similar story with, jobs, careers and property, as I said earlier. And yet here we are. I have a house and a job, and that's not because I have some incredible talent or something, or it's not because somebody's given it me on a plate. It's just because I stayed around long enough for impossible to become normal, and I think that's the lesson that I'm taking from May on this YouTube channel. Yes, the numbers are down. Yes, the excitement isn't quite as high as it was during those first couple of months. The honeymoon phase is probably over, but that is okay, because this is where things get interesting. This is where habits get tested. This is where conviction gets tested. And this, I think, is where most people quit. That's the one thing that I've learned from investing, sports, careers and life, is that lots of things feel impossible right until the point that they feel completely normal. And the only way to find out which category somebody belongs in is to keep showing up long enough to discover the answer. And with that, thank you very much for watching. If you do enjoy following along this journey, please do hit that subscribe button down below. Thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next one.